Hello everybody, my name is indeed CactiMamba, and today we're going to not be playing some Path Champions because we're going to be doing something more special today, but if you couldn't tell, there's this little thing in the top right here, that's Powercuties. That's right, we're making a video with Powercuties today, an awesome Twitch streamer, really like the guy, and he's going to be doing some cool stuff with us, so why don't you explain yourself, Powercuties?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. My name's Powercuties. I mainly play Path of Champions. I play a lot of Path of Champions, quite frankly, and I do play on Twitch. So if you ever want to check out my stream, the channel is Powercuties. Um, so today we're doing something kind of exciting. We're going to be talking about the best ways to clear the new ASOL map, Path of Champions. If you haven't seen it yet. It is the 4-star map. It is by far the hardest map that they've introduced into the game, and I have seen a lot of people say that they were been struggling with the map, struggling to get some region clears for the prizes and awards. So we're going to go over that today and try to help you guys get your rewards for the map.
Absolutely, that is what we are going to be indeed doing. But before we get started, I just want to let you guys know, if you guys are interested in checking out Powercuties, he does have a YouTube and a Twitch. It will be in my description down below with all the other stuff down there. So that's what you guys are interested in. Check it out. But with that being said, we are going to be, like he was just talking about, ASOL tips and tricks. He might be giving a little bit more tips and tricks, and I might be just wanting to see you guys suffer. But we are going to be giving you guys tips nonetheless. Whether you guys follow them, that part's up to you. Alright, but we are going to be starting out with Targon. Alright, and I am going to let Powercuties go first, so take it away.
Yeah, thanks so much. So Targon, I'm going to go with the low-hanging fruit here. I'm going to recommend Diana. So I don't know if you guys have heard me talk about Diana before, but she is a powerhouse. She is just aggro personified. She does tons of damage just early in the game, and your game plan with Diana is just overwhelm them with tons of damage before the ASOL or the other opponents can get anything set up. The thing with the ASOL fight in particular at the end there is he really doesn't give you much time to stay and play. You got to finish him quickly because he just starts to get out of hand after turn 3. So you do want to be finishing that match off within the first 3 turns, ideally. Diana can do that like quite easily. So the build that I recommend for Diana is Gale Force, Stalker's Blade, and then your third item can be a bit of a flex. I've seen people do just attack buffs. I've seen people do even like crazy stuff like Guardian's Orb, Troll King for the Overwhelm. It really is your choice. But the most important thing for her for sure is the Gale Force. You do need to be swinging and swinging often with Diana. As you're going through the run, you are just focusing on building her stats as big as possible, giving her keywords, build around the Diana, and she will carry you through.
Yeah, well, that's just, I like to hear that one because as a Gale Force addict, myself, I really appreciate hearing other people kind of getting drawn in, all right, to that relic right there. But, no, so Diana's his pick, all right. The one difference that I would recommend if you were going to play Diana is I actually think that the Overwhelm, like the Troll King's crown that gives Overwhelm to everything, very good relic for her. But obviously, like you were saying, Gale Force, the best relic, really the only relic if we're really talking facts here.
Yeah.
But no, I have a little bit of an introduction with my pick here. All right. So say that you are someone who's wondering what champion to use for Targon, which you probably are, right? And you want to be the cool kid in class, all right? The guy that just sits down and everybody just looks at you and says, "Oh my God, what a guy!" All right. If that's you, if that's what you want to be, all right, then what you need to do is you don't need a dog to do that one. All right, you need a cat. That's right. You're going to use Yuumi. Because you're going to use Yuumi because it's just faded, really. Like faded, it's just faded in, it's written in the stones, all right? You're going to use the cat to win. She can't even read, but she has a book, all right? And that's all you need to win. And so we're going to be playing with Yuumi, and the reason why we're going to be doing Yuumi, all right, is because if you know what it's like to play against Yuumi in League of Legends, all right, I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen it, but it feels kind of the same way in Legend of Runeterra. And what better way to do than to make a soul suffer? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And even better, all right, the hidden OP tech in Yuumi is Gale Force. All right, you used Gale Force on Yuumi because she doesn't get recalled off of the Gale Force, as far as I know. All right, so that's what you do. And if you don't use Yuumi against Aesol, it's disappointing, really. That's what I have to say about that one. It's honestly, you have to use Yuumi. The cat will obviously win. And Diana, who is she? All right, she just has Brenda. Leona just has Jimmy. It doesn't matter. Yuumi is where it's at. All right, and so that is my victory speech right there for you guys. You can put literally any relic on there, except as long as you have Gale Force with it. All right, do what your heart is content with. But with that being said, Yuumi has to be the winner right there.
Honestly, I think Yuumi is a legit option. The one thing I will say, if you take Yuumi, you do want a really cheap support champion, like ideally 1 or 2 mana, and just slap that Yuumi on him and just go to town. Yeah.
I think you get Aesol as your support champion. Just to show him what's what. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a statement. All right, like Aesol will be quivering in his boots. All right, it's non-existent space boots. That's what's gonna happen if you pick Aesol as the support champion. So just honestly go out there and live your best life with Yuumi. Is all I have to say about that one. All right, so we've gotten the first 2 down. All right, but you've only gotten 1 win so far in your things, right? You paused the video. You won with Yuumi, probably, maybe Diana, maybe she's not as good, but maybe you won with Diana too. But now you need the Bilgewater win. What are we gonna do with that one, Powercuties?
I'm gonna break your heart here because I know I'm gonna take the pick that you wanted to list, but I'm going with my girl Illowai.
No!
She is. I'm so sorry. I know he was just thinking, oh, this. Of course, I'm going to talk about Illowai. And now Powercuties has stolen that opportunity, but Illowai is just so good on this map. It's just she is the Aesol buster. She just. I love her. I love her so much on this map. So with Illowai, the plan is. You want to really abuse Crown Guard. So Crown Guard is when you level up, you get a rally, and because you are basically attacking twice, or in this case, actually, it's going to be 3 times, because you're attacking multiple times here. Those tentacles and that Illowai is just going to grow and grow and grow, and you are going to kill them. You are going to kill them on that turn that you level up with your Illowai. So the other relic that I recommend on her is, 2 attacks are good, 3 attacks are better. So let's slap a Gale Force on her with the Crown Guard and really push the damage. With that, you really should be winning on your Illowai drop turn. You are looking for some either mana ramp or mana reduction on the Illowai so that you can get her down even quicker. If you can get her down on turn 1, you will beat Aesol on turn 1, and I have done this. So that's what you're kind of looking for through the run. If not, you can still win on turn 2, and worst case scenario, turn 3 with the Illowai. But yeah, she is just Aesol's biggest nightmare. I love her.
Well, the only quote I have for that one is just, when you say that you're fine, but you're not really fine, but you don't want to get into it. I just that is heartbreaking to me personally. And not only did you do that, but then you took my build. All right, you took my build for the Alawi. But either way, all right. So if the shot's gonna get fired at me, you know me, I'm gonna respond. All right. And what better way than to take away Powercuties' favorite champion, Tahm Kench? All right, so we're going Tahm Kench.
That is my favorite.
And the reason why you use Tahm Kench, all right, and yes, you use him with Gale Force because you never don't use Gale Force. But either way, the reason why you use Tahm Kench is because he can just take so much damage. He can absorb so much, and there's a lot of different combos that you can use with the Tahm Kench. He does actually have a pretty good early game, in my opinion. And I actually think that he can do a lot of damage, and he can take away a lot of those champions, right? As long as, but the one problem with Tom Kench that you do need to be aware of is he does need to get a lot of health. So that's the one thing you need to look for in your run. You do need to find a lot of health with Tom Kench, right? And he is a little bit more reliant on powers and things like that, but he can definitely be done. You just need to play smartly with Tom Kench. It's all about getting ready to level up the Tom Kench. Then you can absorb the damage. He obviously the best relic on Tom Kench is Berserker's Buckle. All right, that is just the best one because he can just tank so much damage. It's basically +4 every single round, or if you have more Berserker's Buckles, it's even more. And then I definitely think for this run, something along the lines of regeneration is probably your best bet as well. Even though it's a common, it's very, very good on him. But yes, Tom Kench, more out of a statement than actuality. All right, so if you want to give it to Powercuties for taking away my Alawi, all right, mine, she's mine, then you play Tom Kench like me. All right, that's right. Giga Chad CactiMamba on the Tom Kench, and everything with that. But yeah, those are the first two so far, and then obviously you've gotten through the first two, okay, and the play styles within them, right? This is, these two are kind of, you see them, but do you really want to use them? You want to use Cacti's picks, all right? Definitely you want to use Cacti's picks. But then the next thing, all right, that you want to do is you have Demacia coming up, all right? And Demacia is a very interesting region because I actually think that this region is probably one of the more viable regions out of like only having 3 champions to have a bunch of picks for. So we're going to see what Powercuties wants to do here.
Yeah, so I strongly agree with that statement. This one was actually difficult because I think pretty much every Demacian champion is a good pick for this map. I'm gonna actually those first two I admit I kind of took some low hanging fruit. I think this one might be a little bit more controversial. I'm not sure, but my Demacia pick is actually going to be Vayne. She's new and she is good. She does have a very similar playstyle to the Diana. She is aggro. She hits many, many, many times. Getting her leveled up is extremely easy, and because of that, like, let's throw on a Crown Guard on her. So put on the Crown Guard Inheritance and just swing even more times. Like, I mean, she just wants to hit face, so just let her do that. And hey, if we're gonna be hitting face, I mean, Gale Force it is, right? Like we're just slapping Gale Force on everything here. But it is correct. Like, I mean, that's what Vayne wants. Vayne just wants to hit. Now you could make the argument that if you have the high star level, you can get the scout attack without it. So if you got a high star level, you don't necessarily have to use the Gale Force because you can get scout around that. But Crown Guards would definitely be the most important relic. Otherwise, we're playing this similar to Diana. It's just build a big Vayne, smash face, and Ace all on turn 1 or turn 2.
So, what I'm starting to hear is maybe that I'm addicted to a Gale Force, but you might be addicted to Crown Guard, man. I don't know. I think that
I am a big fan.
Yeah, you're kind of suffering addict, but in a different way, But with that being said, I have to go with a certain pick. All right, and this might be my best pick yet. Thank you. I know. I know you guys will all agree with me because I have to go with the champion who he just defines Demacia in every single way. All right, and he just gets so big so quickly that anytime you put any stats on this man, he is just unstoppable, and that man is Garen. All right, Garen is my pick for Demacia. All right, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I recently made a video of me with Garen against Asol, and that man, anytime you can get a strike relic on that man, he just goes to town. I had 2 strike relics on him, instantly levels. He gets so big so quick. He went from a 5-5 to a 10-10, and that was without any sort of buffs in terms of stat buffs or anything like that. So if you have I had like black cleavers and things on top of that, which meant that he got even bigger. So those are the types of things that you look for in a champion that is just going to succeed in destroying Asol. He is a little bit dependent on strikes, but I think that his units get so big so fast that I don't think it really matters. And I don't know. I think that Garen can just eat a soul for breakfast. So you guys, if you guys are like me, all right, you guys go from the Yumi to the Tom Kench to the Garen. All right, you know results might vary with that one, but I think Garen's definitely a good pick to go for. And so far, I think looking at our picks here, these are pretty interesting picks. So you got to keep in mind that in all of these regions so far, there's only been 3 champions, which is why this next region is so interesting. All right, and that's because we have many more than 3 champions in the Runeterra region that to choose from, and so I'm going to be kind of curious to see what Powercuties picks here.
Yeah, I do want to say for Garen, my guilty confession is actually that was my first Demacian clear. Garen is really solid against Asol as well. I fully agree with CactiMamba on that one. That is not a troll pick. That is not a meme. Garen will clear that map pretty easily as well.
Are you insinuating that some of my picks have been troll earlier? Is that what you're trying to tell me, Powercuties?
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. Like you said, your mileage may vary.
You know,
on some of these
I will not stand for this. All right, I will not stand for this degradation of my picks. All right, it is unfathomable what you can say to the things that I'm doing right now. And if you are doubting my picks earlier on from this video, then you better see what's later. All right, buddy, because you are gonna be rolling on the ground in fear from what Cacti brings to the table. All right, but enough of that. Let's just see whatever you have to bring here.
Okay.
All right?
So, yeah, like Runeterra, we have so many options. And again, it's kind of similar to Demacia, where I don't think there is necessarily only one pick. You actually do have multiple choices. But I'm going to say, just from my personal experience, the one that I found that was the easiest to clear Asol was Jax. Big surprise, going with the aggro champ once again, putting Gale Force on him once again. But I mean, that is actually the easiest way to beat Asol is just overwhelming him on the first few turns, and Jax can do that. On my Jax, I was using Gale Force, Stalkers, and I believe some attack boost. I can't remember if it was Warhammers or something else. But yeah, I think we're both addicted to Gale Force, not gonna lie. But I was able to get other Runeterra champion clears as well, so it's not Jax or nothing for sure, but that's just the one that I personally found was the easiest.
So that's an interesting pick. I actually do like Jax quite a bit. He's a very fun champion, and in fact, in a lot of ways, he actually reminds me a lot of Lucian, one of my old loves from Lab of Legends. He would have been like my high school sweetheart, basically, in terms of picks for her path. But either way, all right, we have to pick. You have to see my pick, all right, and this is another champion that I believe a lot in for this run, and I actually think it's probably one of the more unique champions in Path Champions, and I appreciate him quite a bit, and that is Jhin. Alright, I actually really like Jhin. And guess what? He also synergizes with Gale Force. That's right. But I think if you are going to play Jhin with Gale Force, there is a particular another 2-item combo that needs to be on your thing, which is that you need to have Ludens plus Cannon Barrage. And you can add either another Ludens or another Cannon Barrage, depending on what you want to do, as well on top of that. But I think that those are his 2 best relics. By far, it's not even close. You get so many skills. If you do 2 Cannon Barrages plus Ludens, you're basically leveling up Jhin almost immediately. You're getting a lot of board stuns, a lot of board wipes, and you should be able to just win off the attacks off top of that. He is just so good. Whenever Jhin levels, he also hits face for abilities, which is just very, very strong. So Jhin has a lot of different tempo plays that he makes. All of his units doing at least 1 extra damage on top of that. A lot of those skills grow Jhin as a champion as well, which makes him bigger in terms of stats, right? The only problem with Jhin that I have found that you do have to be a little bit wary of is that you have to know how to manage a stack, alright? So he's a little bit tougher to manage in terms of skill. And you also have to know how to, like what skills to play around, and you need to be able to draw Jhin. Alright, those are the 3 different things that you need to know how to play with Jhin to be able to manage him accordingly. If you mismanage a stack, you can actually lose a game. But now once you get to star 3, you should be able to stun things like Asol and other champions reliably to the point where you should not be losing games. Because even though Asol has Spell Shield, you have a lot of stuns from all the skills that you play every single round. You get free stuns from Jhin. There's a lot to do with Jhin. He's very strong, and I think you guys will enjoy playing him. Alright? The fact that we both picked a champion with Jay just says a lot. Alright? But, with that being said, I think that's a pretty good round out for the
Can I ask you actually for Jhin, because I was trying to experiment some of the builds for the Asol, and I was really not sure on Luden's Tempest, because you did mention that. Did you find that the 1 extra damage on the spells and skills was worth the rare slot, or is it better to just like double up on cannon barrages or just other
I
things?
personally don't have a second cannon barrage to do that with.
Okay.
But I do think that if you had the double cannon barrage, it might be slightly better because you're getting a lot more. You're getting Jhin a lot bigger, right? So it's like you're losing losing more face damage, but you're getting Jhin a lot bigger, a lot faster. Now, the one question that it does have with Jhin that I kind of view it as is it's just Jhin also has a lot of things that hit face, right? And that's where Ludens can really help. And sometimes I found that those, like the Cannon Barrage, I feel like whenever you drop Jhin down sometimes, and if you've already whittled down the board a little bit, and you drop Cannon Barrage, it doesn't feel very good onto face itself until you put Ludens, right? Because Ludens is what makes him do so much more damage to face. And he does a lot more damage to champions. So I think it's more of like a give and a take. I personally recommend Ludens, but there are different combos with it. And you can obviously go Gale Force. Gale Force is always an acceptable answer to any champion. Alright, I don't care who you are. If you put Gale Force on a champion, you have my respect. Alright, so with that being said, we have the good first 4 here from all of us. I mean, you got to tell me, what are your thoughts so far, Powercuties?
Oh, I'm liking this a lot. I don't have Yumi unlocked, but I can't wait to bully Asol with the little cat.
That's right. We don't need dogs around here, all right? Even whenever Nasus comes out, forget about him, all right? Stay pure. Stay to the cat, all right? That's what you have to do to be able to be successful in the Targon matchup here, all right? It's Targon against Targon. Man against man, all right? And what better way to defeat a man than with a cat? So...
Can't argue that.
All right, and then the next thing that there is in terms of Asol, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, there's the 4 set regions that you have to beat Asol with, and then there is 1 any region that you can win with, all right? And so we are each going to give 3 different ennys because there's a little bit more set, like kind of like open up things, so we don't want to limit you guys, all right? We want to give you 3 options each, which will give you guys 6 total champions to work with. That's right, guys. We're giving you guys 6 for the price of 3, all right? So with that being said, we want to hear what Powercuties' first pick is.
Yeah. So first of all, we're not even gonna talk about the champion that does not exist.
What champion?
Or at least I'm not, because as far as I'm concerned, that champion does not exist, and I've heard CactiMamba say the same as well. But having said that, I mean, there's it's a big ocean here. Like, there's a lot of good champions here, and I've done a lot of clears with some interesting champions. I'm going to talk about my favorite and most rewarding ones. And the first one is it's an easy clear, and it's a fun clear, and it's Gwen. I love Gwen. She's actually one of my favorite champions to play in Path of Champions. She just does so much. She just does face damage. She kills units. She heals you. She literally just does everything that you want her to do, and I love her. Now, the interesting thing with Gwen is I think my build is a little different than most people's, because I see a lot of people putting stuff like Ludens on her so that way, yeah, she does a little bit more damage with her effect, and she does a little more, I think, heals, I believe, too. I'm not sure about that one. And I've seen them do a few other weird ones. I'm going to tell you my Gwen build that I think is very good for the Asol map, and that is actually Warhammer Stalkers. And there is a specific reason for that. So Warhammer Stalkers Blade, that gets her to 5 attack, and then that Stalker's Blade is going to immediately strike when you summon her. So that puts you halfway to her level up. That means you only have to attack once or block once, and she's leveled. And you want to get Gwen leveled. Her base attack of 3 means you basically need to have 4 attacks or blocks to level her, right? Because it's going to be 3 + 3 + 3 gets you to 9, and then you still need the 4th one as well. So getting her leveled basically almost immediately is a big deal because she does so much damage. She will heal you so much. It really does. It does a lot of work. So that's my pick is Gwen, and I like Warhammer, Stalker's Blade, and then I also throw on a Troll King just so that she can overwhelm them with when she does her huge attacks.
Now, I don't know what sort of heresy this is, all right now, but I personally am going to have to disagree with Powercuties, all right?
Oh no.
I can't believe that he just did this to me, all right? Because I have seen this man do great things in the ASIL run, all right? I have seen him do great things. And the fact that his first pick would not be the champion that I'm about to give to you guys, all right? The fact that his first pick would not be Talia. It's just absolutely appalling to me. All right. And the reason for that is I don't know if you guys have seen his Talia run at all right, but that has to be the best run in an ASL match I've ever seen. I mean, the absolute sheer speed this man goes through to win with Talia, and the fact that Talia was his only win con throughout the entirety of the run, it just is baffling to me that he wouldn't pick Talia here. I mean, and not only that, it's Talia with Gale Force, guys. Think about the amount of value you get out of Talia with the Gale Force, all right? Every single round, you get a copy of a landmark, right? How can you justify not using such a beautiful champion on Gale? You don't even need another relic on Talia, all right? You just need to be able to copy that landmark every single round, and you will win the game. It's just so free. I mean, Powercuties, you have to explain yourself.
Okay. Let me explain myself. So, first of all, I feel like CactiMamba may have exaggerated or embellished some of the details here, but he is not wrong in that I actually did beat Asol on my first attempt with Talia. So that did happen, and that was like with a 2-star like mid-20s Talia as well. But I don't know. Like, I mean, it wasn't easy. It definitely wasn't easy.
So what you're telling me is that if you want to take my picks, you can't be a faint of heart. Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, if you're gonna take Talia, you're gonna need to be confident and brave. That's what I'm telling you. But it is definitely.
I certainly
possible.
hope my subscribers are confident and brave. All right, I think that's what happens whenever you decide.
I think we did actually just describe your viewer base.
I know, right? I think that the best way to describe my viewer base is well hydrated, confident, and brave. All right, I think that's the way you describe my viewer base. And so I would hope that you guys are brave enough like me to take Talia, and brave enough like Powercuties to take Talia in. All right, there is just some complete and utter, just sheer power with her, and I think that with the overwhelming amount of landmark support for Talia, there is just no way that you can fail on this champion. I think if you don't get your first win on Talia on the first playthrough, I think that you should get your money back guaranteed. All right, that is how Talia works. You go talk to Riot about that one. All right, I'm not paying any of you guys back, but you guys can trust me. All right, I'm very trustworthy. But like I said, the one most important rule of this is that results might vary. Just keep that part in mind. Results may vary, but trust me, guys. Trust me. I would never lead you guys astray. All right, I'm that loving uncle that all of you guys can think of. All right. So with that being said. What's the next part of this? I don't know. I mean, Powercuties has probably got another random card up his sleeve. The fact that he picked Gwen at first is just appalling. I mean, that champion can only heal, can only attack, can only drain. I mean, it's just there's so few things that champion can do. So let's see what he has to say next.
Okay, all right, okay. I know Gwen was kind of a power pick, but I mean, like, I'm trying to help your viewers out here. Like, some of them are legitimately struggling. I want to be a good guy here, but my second pick is gonna be something I probably think that you are not gonna expect, and it is also one that I was able to do like pretty actually not even that difficultly on my first try, and it is Darius. Yeah, Darius. Now, the thing with Darius is I think you kind of do need to have him at level 30 because having the 3 rare relics is a bit important for the game plan. And the game plan is degeneracy. That is essentially the game plan. So As most of you know, Darius's champion spell is Decimate. But you know what's better than Decimate? When you drop Darius down and you do about, 12 to 20 face damage on that drop. Yeah, that's a little better than a Decimate. So on my Darius, I've got Curator's Gatebreaker, Curator's Gatebreaker, and a Scourge's Stash because we want him down ASAP. And he is going to smash their face as soon as you drop them. Yeah, I made this build as an experiment. I didn't know if this was going to be good or fast enough for the ASOL map, and believe it or not, it just destroyed him. And the funny thing is, I believe he actually had Unyielding Determination, so he actually had 80 HP, and I was still able to smash his face by just dropping Darius after Darius and just auto hitting his face for 20 to 30 damage at a time. So yeah, this one's a little bit of a fun pick, but it was a lot better than I imagined it would be. I thought I was maybe trolling or memeing, and then I actually did it, and it was like, wow, that actually went really well.
Yeah, I think that what I'm hearing out of you is I think that this is probably your best pick yet. I mean, all the previous five, are kind of lackluster, I think, in terms of power level. But I think Darius, guys, I think that's the one that you guys should be looking at first here. All right, Powercuties has finally stopped the sarcasm. All right, he's ready to get into it.
It's the first champion that I haven't recommended Gale Force on, too.
That's right.
So it's a little bit of heresy there.
And in fact, he could recommend Gale Force for this. That's right. You should use Gale Force today. All right, I should do an ad on Gale Force because you should use it too. But Darius, I actually can see how this combo would work. I think that can be an amazing combo for him. That actually seems a really interesting playthrough that I might actually have to take and try myself. I know.
Highly recommend. Lots of fun.
Yes, I will have to probably try that out at some point. But more importantly, before we talk about, what I might do in the future, we need to talk about what I've done in the past for this next one. Because that Darius build will never live up to the build that I have created. All right, one of my most proud builds that I have ever made on this channel. I'm sure you guys have all remembered it. And that build involves a certain champion called Ornn. Alright, we are going to be playing Ornn, and you need to be playing by eating the ram for breakfast. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You play Ornn, you play Corrupted Star Fragment, and in fact, if you're going really spicy, you play with 2 Corrupted Star Fragments. But don't at me about that one. That's if you're going to go out there. But either way, guys, the more important part of Ornn is that you just want to just slaughter them with that huge ram coming into the Ornn. It means that you're also being able to take a lot of the different huge champions that they can get from leveling up and things like that. Ornn smashes them out of the water. The only thing that you need to do with Ornn to make sure is it is kind of necessary to have 3 stars on him. I think the Ornn is incredibly weak before 3 stars, and I genuinely think that getting some sort of way to stall out the game early is what you need on Ornn, right? That is the goal. You just want to stall. You do not need to win the early game. You just need to stall. Mitigate damage. Then once Ornn comes onto the board, that's when you win. That's whenever you do the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful combo that Ornn has to offer. My favorite picks on Ornn are actually things that involve either increasing his stats, the Curator's Gatebreaker. I've heard some people say Gale Force is very good on him. I'm not so sure about that one. I think that if you're going to use Gale Force, you would indeed want to use this the Corrupted Star Fragment, because then you buff him once with the Ram, attack once, and then you would buff him with those buff stats again. A lot of he's a very interesting champion, I feel like, and I think you can actually have a lot of success with him. And you just need to learn how to stall the game out on Ornn. It's very, very important to get something that revolves around stalling the game out. That's why Starchild's Staff is also very good on him and things like that. But with that being said, Ornn, guys, how can you not like Ornn? He is one of the best champions of Path Champions, confirmed, all right? He's S tier in everybody's tier list, so just keep that in mind, all right, guys? He is the best of the best. All right.
I have a couple questions for the Ornn builds. Would you ever consider a Scourge's Stash to try to get him out earlier, or does that make it a little too awkward to get the Plunder and then summon the Ornn after?
Well, one of the things that I always think about with Ornn, I did try it once with Ornn, and it's kind of a weird one, because first off, you have to trigger the Plunder, right? Which means that you're probably attacking before you play Ornn, which is already awkward. But then Also, by giving you a couple extra turns, because typically you want to build into a deck that's stabilizing anyways, right? So I actually feel like it's better to just on Ornn wait out the extra couple turns unless you find something later on that discounts him anyways, because what you're looking for is you just want to build up those forges anyways onto an item, right? And so you're kind of, those extra couple turns aren't necessarily bad, because typically if you're surviving to that length, you're probably going to survive from there. The weakest Ornn is turn 1, right? He only gets stronger as the turns go on. So any way that you can try and stall the game out is what you need. I mean, I personally would really recommend just like, if you can pick a unit with like even just like things to like summon, right? Like if you can just have like 2 of the Vanguard lookouts at the start of the game, that does a lot for you. Just being able to stall out and things like that. So that's the answer to the first question. All right. Is there the second question you had on this Ornn pick?
No, that's okay. I was gonna ask about Banshee's Veil because it does sound like Ornn is kind of like the win con here. Like how important is a spell shield on him?
I think you play Spell Shield on Ornn whenever you're ready to just, take off your pants, sit down, and just bury yourself in the sand. All right. I think that real men that don't shiver in their boots, all right, I think is when you take off the spell shield and you just say, look, all right, I know how good I am. They know how good I am. They're just going to forfeit round 1. I think that's really what it comes down to whenever they see the fact
that Asol never has the silence.
No,
either.
He never has silence. He never has stuns. And you never take Spell Shield on Ornn. Never take it. You listen to me, all right? Don't subscribe to the channel if you take Spell Shield on Ornn. That's right.
We've already determined that your viewers are all brave and confident, so I mean...
That's right.
Yeah, I'm a fool for even suggesting this.
You are, all right? It's confirmed. You haven't drank enough water today. That's why you're suggesting something like that. That's right, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, today's sponsor, the water bottle, all right? Not just any water bottle, my water bottle. That's right. Water bottle approves of this video. All right, they had me sign 20 waivers before I could record this. So, with that being said, water bottle. Drink from your water bottle today. With that being said, we have one more champion to go, Powercuties. I'm curious to see what yours is.
Actually, I had 2 in mind. I honestly thought you were going to pick one of these earlier, but since you haven't, let's steal another one from you. I'm going to say for my third pick is actually Teemo. Now, I will say for Teemo... See, this is what happens when you let me pick first.
See, you're picking Teemo, but I just want to let you know that you're not a fun guy, all right? I just want you to know that, all right?
Now, the thing about Teemo is I kind of feel like he probably does have to be 3 stars. At 2 stars, he's only planting 5 shrooms when he swings, whereas the 3 stars, he's planting 10. And that is kind of a really big deal for the Asol map because they do actually have a lot of HP. Once you get to the second half of the map, most of them have between 35 and 50 HP. So you probably need to be 3 stars. Now, the Teemo build, super exciting. It's Gale Force, it's Gatebreaker, and then if you have 3 rare slots, it's even double Gatebreaker. But if you don't, then that's fine. Gale Force and Gatebreaker. The other tip too is you do have to be just cognizant about which opponents have elusives and avoid those fights. So if you have an option of fighting, I don't know, say, just hypothetically, I don't know, let's say a Caitlyn versus a Zoe, I would definitely pick the Caitlyn over the Zoe because Zoe is just going to spam elusives and it's going to make it really hard for your Teemo to get through. So try to pick the fights that have less elusives in their deck. And Asol himself doesn't really play elusive, so unless he rolls the 3 mana 3/3, the Otter, he isn't going to be able to stop Teemo. And yeah, I mean by that point you're probably going to be planting hundreds of shrooms by turn 1, turn 2, and then you just have to kind of hold off and let him draw.
Yeah, I think Teemo's, in all seriousness, I actually really love Teemo's playstyle. It's really, it's this weird transition for the first 3 turns, you're really trying to just attack Teemo, and then afterwards you actually want to transition more into your Avas, right? You want to start playing your Avas down. and getting them to just double all those shroom pools, because once you're at like 500 shrooms, you're typically at a point where, as long as you have like an Ava or two down on the board, you're probably just going to win in the 1 or 2 turns from the pull on the shrooms. Now, if you want to go for the absolute memes, keep attacking with Teemo, but Gale Force is just the best on him if you're going to go the Gatebreaker build. If you don't want to go the Gatebreaker build or you don't have Gatebreaker, there's probably actually better relics out there to use with him. But the Gale Force, the reason why it's so good is because every single time you summon 1 Teemo, 2 Teemo, 3 Teemo, if you get like the copies as well, they're doubling those puff caps, right? Every single time after he gets leveled. So that's what you want to be looking at in terms of the Gatebreaker on Teemo. It's not for the first time you summon him, it's for the turns after, right? So it's not very good on his first summon. It's much better after that one. But with that being said, that's the Teemo build, all right? But there is one champion that we have yet to see, all right? And I think that this champion is, quite frankly, the best champion to beat Aurelion solo. And he does require a relic to be successful, all right? And it is the best relic, all right? You need to use Gale Force. It's the best in the West, all right? And Gale Force, it's just a specific combo. And I think that everyone, including you, Powercuties, I know, we're a little bit, we have our disagreements, all right? But I think you and I can even agree that this is the best user of Gale Force, and that is Veigar. All right. Mm-hmm. Veigar is the best champion for the ASOL run. I mean, it's really just a free win. It's even better than those who shall not be named, all right? It's better than them. Veigar is just so good with Gale Force. His synergy with them is beyond, it's just amazing. The synergy is just crazy. It's out of this world, and, when you play in the Stark where you're getting free darknesses every round, I mean, Veigar with Gale Force might be the greatest build of all time. All right, I know. I think I'm very proud of myself for that one. So yeah, if you guys think that Veigar is the best pick, let me know down in the comments below, because I really think that Veigar might genuinely be the best pick in all of every single run till the end of time. I don't think anybody will ever top Veigar. All right, in Path to Champions. But yeah, let's give me the rundown. All right, rate each of your picks, Powercuties, including mine. Rate them all. Rate all the picks. What do you think? What's your takes on them? All right, give them to me.
I mean, like, I think a lot of your picks are totally viable. I really like Jhin. I really like Garen. I do want to try out the Tom and the Yuumi on the ASOL. These non-region ones, they're a little bit sussy. I mean, I actually do want to try the Veigar on ASOL. I think it's going to be tough, but I think it's possible. But if you're slapping Gale Force on Veigar, you may have a problem. You may need an intervention.
Hold on, Powercuties, but what you're telling to me is that, it's going to be tough in the sense that you're going to be trying to hold back your laughter as you just smash ASOL's face in, right? Like, that's what you're telling me whenever you play Veigar on ASOL.
Like when I say it's going to be tough, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, you're going to feel really bad about, like, taking that easy route and just not really challenging yourself.
Exactly, right? You're going to be, like, everybody around you is just going to be staring at, like, the absolute mammoth that you are, all right, whenever you play Veigar with Gale Force and ASOL. I mean, it's just, you're just on another level, all right, when it comes to just the confidence that you have as a person, the bravery, the courage. I mean, you would be the first one that they draft, all right, to fight the Florida man. All right, that's what you would be. It's just, you are the world's last hope. All right, if you use Veigar, and man, what a hope you are. But my ratings, I mean, I think that anyone who doesn't use these three is just, quite frankly, lost. All right. But either, a lot of these other picks, they have some merit to them. I mean, maybe Alawi, we're maybe, I don't know. I'm not completely sold on that one. It might be inclined to make you rage for 10 minutes after your run. But a lot of these other picks, I could see some merit to them. I mean, Gwen doesn't really have a lot going for her, but, like, I really like the Vayne pick. I mean, Diana, she's got some stuff for her. Jax is pretty good. I mean, obviously my picks are all 10 out of 10s, right? I mean, we can just say that one right off the board. Just the best picks possible. I mean, I think my only real iffy pick in here is probably Garen. Like, there might be a little bit of a, it's a little bit iffy on that one. But everything else is just great, I love the Teemo pick. I mean, you're obviously came reporting for duty on that one. And Darius, I love that pick. And very unique. I was not expecting the Darius pick out of you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are all 7. I mean, is there any other types of tips with all these different champions, or something that's just so glaringly obvious that you notice in the ASO run that that one of these
There was
champions
actually
might
one other
struggle?
champion. I'm gonna bring it up as an honorable mention, but the only thing about her is I kind of think you do have to have her like 3 stars, level 30. So I don't know if that's going to be very accessible for everyone. But the other one that I kind of wanted to bring up was Annie. Because so Annie is just funny because you put Gale Force on her and you never swing once with her. You are literally using the Gale Force just to recall her, and then the other items that you're putting on her are the Dreadways and the Ludens. And what you do in the Annie run is you want multiple copies, so you're really looking hard for either the stabilized power or the shadow totem item on her. And yeah, basically the game plan is drop Annie's, blast their face with cannons, recall Annie, and just do it every turn. And it's just a funny build because it requires Gale Force even though you never swing with her. So the scout is completely irrelevant. You're just using it to recall her every turn.
This sounds to me a lot like the second coming of Who Shall Not Be Named. All right, I'm so sure I can endorse this build, but I do have I have to match the honorable mention that he put forth. All right, I cannot be outmatched in that regard. I have a reputation to uphold. Gosh darn it! So, with that being said, I did have a backup pick in case he had one pick that I had already had. All right, and that pick, ladies and gentlemen, is Evelyn. I actually really think that this champion can do quite a bit of damage, all right, in the ASOL run. And the reason for that is because you can get so many board stuns, all right, and these board stuns are so powerful because unless I'm wrong about this, I believe they cut through Spell Shield whenever you use Steel Tempest. So
they do, yes.
Yes, they cut through Spell Shield, so it does not matter how strong they are, as long as you can get Evelyn on the board and you can get a Slay onto a Husk, you will stun them. And then your goal is to just stun them every single turn. And also the honorable mention, the absolute most OP combo in the entire game. I am certain of this because I have yet to see another champion have this type of interaction. If you pick the power that has 10 different level 2 champions in your deck, that means that all of the units that are with Evelyn start with +20/+20 at the start of the game. Alright? So you cannot tell me that there is a better combo than that. Alright? That might be the greatest combo known to mankind.
It literally is just you instantly win. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, so with that being said, I mean, I hope that these tips, all right, can guide some of you in the right direction. I think that we all know whose tips were maybe slightly more helpful to the viewers at home than others. Me. It was me.
Don't embarrass me here on my first appearance.
Look, it's only his first appearance. I think that he's obviously just an amateur right now, guys. But you guys got to let me know. All right, do you think we should give him another chance at some point to come forth with some more picks or something else, guys? You guys think that he is worthy of making another appearance in front of the water bottle? I think he is. I think we got to give him a little bit more time to grow, to blossom. All right, photosynthesis hasn't hit him yet. All right, he's taking a little bit of time here, but he's going through it. He plays a lot, right? He knows he'll get there at some point. He'll understand the value of Gale Force on Vygar. I'm eager to see that run on his Twitch channel at some point, I'm sure, and everything like that. But with that being said, I mean, is there any other closing thoughts that you have here, Powercuties?
No, I just wanted to mention that we really do want to help you guys, get these rewards because I do feel bad when I see somebody struggling with a particular region or anything like that. And I just wanted to mention that both of us have videos on YouTube. I've got some VODs on Twitch as well for most of these champions, actually. So if you are struggling with a particular champion, check out the videos. Cacti's got most of these up, or probably will shortly if he doesn't. And I've got a few of them up as well. And good luck. I hope this helps you guys.
That's right, guys. I mean, it's just You know, I might not have all these videos up yet, but they're such free ones that I'm sure I'll have them up in the future. They totally won't take hours of planning and playing to get. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And most importantly, check out the description below. There is a Twitch stream and YouTube link in there that you guys should be checking out. That's right. If you've made it this far, you show me enough love that you need to show him some love too. That's right. So check out the description below. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.